Welcome back. Today we're unpacking something genuinely fascinating from our source material, the biological architecture inside your very own head. We're going to dive deep into the neurochemical architecture of habit formation. Basically, we're looking at exactly how your brain physically structures the things you do every single day. Let's get right into it. So, why do daily routines require zero mental effort? Really think about it for a second. When you first learned to tie your shoes, right? Or type on a keyboard, or even drive a car, it demanded absolutely all of your focus. It was exhausting. But now, you can do all those things effortlessly while, planning your dinner or holding a full conversation. We could playfully say our brains are just kind of lazy, but in reality, they're highly, highly optimized machines. Your brain is desperately and constantly trying to conserve energy. And to pull that off, it's built this brilliant biological system. Okay, so let's dive straight into the brain's energy challenge and meet the key players. To really understand how the brain manages its energy budget, it helps to treat it like a massive, bustling corporate workspace. First up, located right at the front of your brain, we have the prefrontal cortex, or the PFC. Think of this region as the CEO or the executive of your brain. Whenever you're doing the really hard work of learning something entirely new, making conscious decisions, or mapping out complex plans, the prefrontal cortex is the one in charge. It's analytical, it's deliberate, and it is entirely responsible for initial learning. And here's the catch, because it's doing all the heavy lifting, running this executive department takes a massive amount of mental effort and energy. Honestly, the CEO gets tired really quickly. Next up in our neurological workspace, we've got the striatum. You can view the striatum as the absolutely critical middleman. Look, in any efficient corporation, you need an integration point, right? A vital bridge that connects the incoming emails with the outgoing shipments. Well, in your brain, the striatum serves that exact role. It's the integration point that connects external stimuli and triggers from the outside world with the actual physical responses your body executes. It literally links what's happening around you with what you physically need to do about it. So, for example, it's the biological bridge that connects seeing a red traffic light with the physical action of moving your foot to hit the brake. And boom, finally, we reach the basal ganglia. Located deep down in the center of the brain, the text refers to this as the habit hub. Once a behavior is fully learned by our executive up front, it gets shipped down here to this storage unit. It's basically the brain's ultimate filing cabinet, where automated routines go so they can be executed instantly. No second thoughts, no deliberation, just raw, rapid, low-effort efficiency. Which brings us to this fascinating biological handoff. See, every single time you learn a new habit, a really dynamic physical shift occurs right inside your head. You've got this stark contrast between our two main regions. On one side, there's the prefrontal cortex, which is completely burdened with initial learning and heavy conscious decisions. On the other side, the basal ganglia, effortlessly running those automated, efficient patterns. What actually happens during habit formation is a literal physical transfer of power. The brain hands over control of a task from the high-effort, analytical executive at the front directly to the low-effort, automatic habit hub in the deep center. Let's see how this builds. If we map out this biological delegation, it follows a strict three-step process. Step 1, the prefrontal cortex wrestles with the task, handling that intense, tiring initial learning phase. Step 2, once you start repeating the behavior, the striatum steps in to integrate the external trigger with your physical response, forming that vital bridge we talked about. And finally, step 3, the handoff is complete. The basal ganglia takes over entirely, securely storing the automatic routine so the executive CEO never has to manage it again. So the crucial point is, why does this structural handoff exist at all? The ultimate goal is simply to conserve energy. Remember, your executive region gets overwhelmed really easily. If it had to consciously manage every single repetitive thing you do in a day, everything from making your morning coffee to just locking the front door, your brain would completely exhaust its energy budget by breakfast. By physically moving these tasks away from the executive region and into the habit-focused center, your brain is actively, brilliantly saving its most precious resource. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what happens when the basal ganglia takes the reins. It performs this incredibly neat trick highlighted in our source text. It works by, quote, chunking those actions into a single, efficient program that requires almost no effort to run. Just think about that word for a second, chunking. Your brain takes 10 different complex steps and just bundles them into one single, efficiently executable file. So when you feel like you're just going through the motions on autopilot, you aren't imagining things. That is a literal, biological reality happening deep in the center of your brain right now. All of this incredible, optimized architecture exists for one reason: to free up your prefrontal cortex. Which leaves us with a pretty vital question. What are you currently using your saved executive energy on? Your brain automates these routines specifically so you have the capacity left over to make brilliant decisions, to plan for your future, and to learn completely new things. That energy is there, literally just waiting for you to use it. Hopefully, unpacking this material leaves you eager to examine your own routines and really leverage that conserved mental energy to do something extraordinary today. Catch you next time.